Hey guys, Brian from Boas here. I had a surprise litter a couple weeks ago, the end of September, and it was one of my latest litters of all time. So I'm going to say a little bit about that. I'm going to show you some of the babies that resulted from that litter. And as you probably can have seen, I haven't posted any videos in quite a while. Just wanted to say a little bit about why. So be sure to stay tuned. So you may have figured out that the surprise litter was the Tarahumara Mountain Dwarf Boa. In fact, this is the father of the litter. And I had a pairing that, normally I get these Tarahumara born around July. And then I thought my female was gravid and, she's kind of acting gravid, but I wasn't completely sure. So I noted the potential post-ovulation shed date, counted down the time, and I think she was due sometime in July or so, I thought. And the day came and went and nothing happened. So she had actually had a shed a little bit later, but I discounted that because, as far as the post-ovulation shed, because it put her due date at late September. And I'm thinking, yeah, there's no way that a Tarahumara is going to give birth in late September. So I kind of just dismissed that. So anyway, July came. As you've been following the channel, I had a pretty busy July, lots of nice litters. And then I had a really quiet August, not a single litter born in August, which is surprising since August is usually the peak, especially for the BCC True Red-tailed Boas, but nothing this year. So I had a couple that I thought were potentially gravid, including the Tarahumara, but the time came and went and nothing happened, so I just kind of forgot about it, started thinking about the pairings for 2024. And then I was actually away for a couple days on a work trip, not related to my boas. Came back and I thought I saw some slugs in the enclosure with the mother, or the female Tarahumara. Went and checked. Sure enough, there were some slugs in there. And at first I thought she had no babies, but then I saw there were two little tiny babies there. So very late litter. Born, I believe, the 26th of September. It was about a week and a half ago. So, the moral is, if you see a shed that you think might be the post-ovulation shed, it's never too late. And even though you might expect your boas to be giving birth in around July, they can give birth later. Don't know why I had, they had these Tarahumaras paired up going all the way back to November of 2022. So they had plenty of time, but for some reason the female didn't become gravid until probably the summer, and she gave birth in September in the fall. So that was my last litter of 2023. A pretty good year, not a spectacular year, not as many litters as I had in 2022, but some really nice animals nonetheless. And I'm starting to think about my pairings for 2024. It's always busy breeding boas. There's always something to do, something to think about, something to plan for. You just never get a rest. So as I mentioned, as you probably saw, it's been a few weeks since I posted a video. Not because I don't want to or because I don't have anything to say, but I'm just so busy lately with my day job. You might not know, but I don't breed boas professionally. I don't do this for a living. I just do it as a hobby. I need a full-time day job in order to pay my bills so that I can breed boas. So I've had a lot of stuff come up with my day job. It's just been really swamped with that. Also have had some stuff come up with my house, some repairs to do, some things that I've had to fix, or call in contractors to fix, since my house is pretty old. And there's a lot of maintenance that unfortunately needs to be done. So that's taken up a lot of my energy. And then just basic family stuff. So unfortunately, I just haven't had the time to make these videos lately. I don't want to overpromise. I'd like to get back into making videos, hopefully making several a week, but we'll just have to see. As I mentioned, I've got a really exciting 2024 breeding lineup planned. So I hope to tell you guys about that sometime in the weeks ahead, as well as telling you what's going on, so that we can look forward to the babies that are going to be born in 2024. So getting back to these baby Tarahumaras, I'm going to get out my close-up lens in a minute and show you them. But so far they're doing really well. They're really, really tiny. I'd say probably about 15 inches long, not much bigger than a foot. And no bigger than, actually less big around than a pencil. Really, really tiny, not even a centimeter wide, just little tiny boas. So I'm going to show you the close-up video. And then I thought it'd be cool to take out a scale and weigh these little tiny babies, since I'm guessing they're going to weigh like a fraction of what a typical boa will weigh. Typical boa baby is somewhere around 100 grams or so. These guys, I'd guess maybe like 30 grams or something, but we'll get out the scale and we'll see how big they weigh. So anyway, let's get out my close-up lens. We'll take a quick look at the baby boas and then we'll do a weigh-in. There's a closer look. I've actually got my lens zoomed all the way out, but he's so small that it's not even really that much of a close-up. And you can see the beautiful dark head markings and the round saddles, or the space between the saddles, I should say. And you can see the dark color with some shades of lilac and chocolate. Just a beautiful looking little baby Tarahumara mountain dwarf boa. Got the lens a little bit closer. This is about as close as I can get, even with a macro lens. But you can see the dark colors and the beautiful pattern. This guy was actually kind of striking out at me when I took him out. I say guy, but it could be a girl, I don't know yet. And you know, these little Tarahumaras will strike out defensively, but they're so tiny, even if they tried to bite you, they could do absolutely no damage. It's almost a little bit comical. This one seems to be kind of sitting still. They typically don't move around a whole lot when they're babies. They probably just lie still, and you know, the colors will help them camouflage in the wild. But real nice boa. Was really surprised to have these little babies show up unexpectedly in late September. You really expect them to be born, you know, in July, so it was quite a surprise. But I'm happy to have even a small litter of these beautiful Tarahumara mountain dwarf boas. Here's the other Tarahumara boa. This one, you can see, is a little bit lighter in color than the other one, although they do change colors a little bit depending on their moods and the environmental conditions. This one, you can see, is not quite as dark as the other one, and kind of more pinkish overall, where the other one is kind of more purplish. This one seems to be a little bit bigger than the other one, although both of them, I would say they're maybe 15 inches. They're really tiny, and even narrower around than a pencil. This really tiny little baby boas. I haven't fed them yet, but now that they've shed, the next thing to do will be to offer food. And I'd say they'll get maybe a fuzzy. They could probably even get a large pinky. These guys are just so tiny. But hopefully they'll put on some size and grow up to be, you know, maybe 3 to 4 feet as adults. But still a really tiny dwarf boa. Okay, now that we've seen those little baby Tarahumara boas, I thought it would be interesting to get a weight on them, since they're arguably the smallest boas I've ever produced, or certainly among the smallest. So I've got my little kitchen scale. I got this little plastic thing I'm going to use as a weighing boat, and since the boas are so small, they don't need a very big one. So I got a table down here that you unfortunately can't see. I'm just zeroing it out. Okay, so I got my two little baby Tarahumara boas here. One is coiled, like he or she wants to strike at me, kind of comical. You can see this is actually the bigger of the two, the lighter colored one that we looked at second in the close-up footage. So he or she is going on the scale, and she weighs a whopping 24 grams. Not even an ounce. This is a little tiny one. Kind of very cute. And as I said, this one appears to be the larger of the two. We'll look at the other one. Yeah, this one is just tiny. Reminds me of the baby colubrids when I used to breed milk snakes. About the size of a baby king or corn snake. So we'll put him or her on the scale. Okay, so he or she is 22 grams, so a little bit smaller than his or her brother or sister. So just a little tiny animal. Those of you who think boas are giants, take a look at this one. Almost comical. So I'm going to go ahead and put these guys back in their enclosure now. And as I mentioned, I'm going to probably try feeding them in the next day or two. Thought I'd end the video by grabbing this other Tarahumara. Believe it or not, this is actually a half sibling to the little babies I just showed you. Same mother, different father. This one was born in 2018, and this is a pretty good size for a Tarahumara. I'd say she's probably about 4.5 feet. I just fed her a large rat about 2 days ago, so she's still a little bit chunky looking from that rat. But good size boa, not going to get any bigger than this. This one I haven't bred yet. She may be in the 2024 lineup. Not quite sure. I have several really nice adult female Tarahumaras that I've been holding back, mostly from 2017 and 2018. Not sure which ones I'm going to breed, but she's certainly in the lineup. Actually, I wish I had held back more males. That way I could have more pairings, but you know, if you're holding back only one male for every 2 females, you're going to have extra females. And a lot of people think that they can get by with a lot more females than males, but then they're kind of limited because they don't have enough males. And you know, males don't breed every year, much like females, so you just have to be a little bit selective. But moving forward, I'm probably going to hold back a 50-50 male to female ratio in general. But nice Tarahumara female. I'll show you the potential size of those 2 little babies. Although I'd say that this one is a baby. As far as I remember, she was bigger than those 2. So I wouldn't think that they're going to get this big, but we'll just have to see. But great animal if you're looking for a pint-sized boa constrictor that has all of the behaviors of their full-size cousins. The dwarf Tarahumara mountain boa from Mexico. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, shoot me any questions or comments you might have. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your boas.